Hello friends, welcome back. We are back for another episode of Big Dano Plays Primal. And this episode we're facing against one of the expansion monsters from the Frost or Ice expansion called Sirkaaj. Wonder how he was knighted. Oh, it's not a great start. Alright, well, here he is, the big fella. He looks cool. Yep, very good. So, we had a deck advantage, which we've added in, which is very exciting. But we've gone back to piercing dash. We've switched over to this full iron leaf armor set. I quite like the combination here, so we'll see if we can make it happen. 2, 3, 4, 5. Fine. And then here, this is still Hail of Bullets Reptile. Every time I hear Reptile, I just think of Mortal Kombat. Liu Kang, Sonya, Reptile, Sub-Zero. Cool, and that's all dealt, So we need to do 26 damage to do a wound. At the start of the first round, Sirkaaj gains 2 struggle, so we are on 4 struggle. When a player suffers damage, any damage, we discard the top 2 cards of our deck. So that's not too bad. Ice, let's talk about ice. So if you end your turn in a sector with ice and you are threatened, that will cause you to exile the top card of your action deck. Exile, not a great rule. Card's gone. Okay, this is looking okay. We are going to trigger all 3 of these cards in the one go. Do we have our stealth capacity over here? Chain blue. We do not. I'm interested in whether I should go bunter. No, we're going to start here. And we're going to use our swift deflection to draw 1 and move. Then, we're over here to the rock. Because of our reptile, we are going to bring a card back into our hand in a second. But let's kick off with a barrage of bullets, which is red. And we're going to discard this prompt jump to do that, which will allow, I know that one goes on top of our deck, doesn't it? Yes, it does. Okay, good to know, got to remember that. We'll spend 1, 2 bullets, and that is going to deal 4 damage for each bullet this way. So that's 6 plus 4 plus 4, which is 14 damage. Plus, we will ignite, which is spending a bullet, and we'll put that back into our hand. We might actually look for a red first before we do that. So look for a red. Nope. Look for a red. Nope. That's a bit annoying. So now it's trigger time. Let's trigger this red one first. What do you do? The active player suffers damage unless we discard a defense card from our hand. Sure, we'll just discard this prompt reflexes. It's a yellow. And we have no exiled cards. We'll then trigger this rampage. Neither of us sustain the most damage, so we'll just stay on Karah. So she has to discard a green from hand. She will discard swing. And then this one, this one, this one. The active player becomes threatened. if we are already threatened, we suffer damage. We're not already threatened. I really miss my moving gun now. So yeah, we'll play strategic support, and we'll discard this covering fire, which allows us to reload 2. We've spent 2 bullets, which means we place a counter on this card, and we'll play this prompt jump. So we have 3 greens in our hand. Oh, it's a 3. That's bad. All right, when we suffer damage, we discard the top 2 cards of our deck. 1, 2. That's bad. And we're going to end our turn threatened on ice. If you are in the sector of this terrain at the end of your turn. So we'll do this first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we'll exile that. So that one is gone. And that's it. We were threatened anyway, so we had to draw 2. Okay, well we got a 3 and a 2. That's not too bad. Sirkaaj then turns to face, and that is the end of the round. End of her turn, sorry. Okay. Do we want to assist? Yeah, it's going to be a rubbish turn. So we'll assist. Here. Alright. Oh, we've got to remember to suffer damage and draw a card. Let's look for a red. Nope. Let's look for a red. Yes. Chaining a blue. Chaining a red. Alright, do we want to move? We may be overrunning here, so we may not need to. Yeah, we won't move, so we're gonna suffer threaten. Are we gonna overrun? I think we will. Let's see. We want to play Echoing Blades, and we're going to discard Half Moon. So that red deals just 5 damage, which takes us to 19. However, we will then trigger this red, which says, against 2 struggle, we become threatened. It's a bad card. So because we become threatened, we suffer damage, 1, 2. But when we suffer damage, we can place a red on top of our deck. We don't have a red in our discard pile, so we can't. Then we're going to suffer damage again, and we can't place a red on top of our discard pile. It's good to know that though. We also suffer 2 damage here. So it's all round going pretty awfully, but I think that was worth that risk, because now we're going to play this Crescent Strike Chain, increase your sequence limit by 1 this turn. That deals 5, so we get a 24, and then it will also deal 6 damage because we've split the sequence together, which is 30, so that means we've got 4, and we've done our first wound. And then, because we played that, we can draw 2, 1, 2, and discard 1. We will discard this Returning Blade. No. No, we will discard that. We're going to play Dancing, discarding we'll discard run through. That's going to allow us to bring returning blade back into our hand. It's going to remove a struggle, and we're going to get to draw 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. When you suffer damage, you may discard this to immediately overrun the monster. Yep. Great. So now we play this red, which removes a struggle, and that will deal 5 damage. Take us to 9, plus another 10, which is 19, because it's 4 battle dances. And then we can play double strike, discarding this returning blade, which we can then bring back into hand. This counts as 2 things for battle dance. So we're going to deal 5, which goes to 24. And then we are going to deal 14, which goes to 38, which means we have 12 on the board. And we've done our second wound, and we still have a card that we can play in our sequence. And I think we will play reactive defense, discarding this returning blade, because we're going to get that back. We're going to end with 2 turns in hand, 2 cards in hand. This has to not be a 2. Oh. 1, 2. We're threatened anyway. Yep. So 1, 2, and we have to exile the top card of our deck, which we do at the end of the turn. So draw 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to exile the top card of our deck. No, not a red. That was definitely, most definitely, taking the aggro. This guy turns to face us. We've done the attrition check 1, which triggers. Do not have to do that because we don't have any struggle. And that's it. So we're on to round 2. Fight. We are going to gain 2 struggle, but it's about to become 3 because when we behavior refresh, the lowest card goes, which is this one. This one appears. We shuffle these. Oh, when we suffer damage, we discard the top 2 cards of our deck. So I definitely didn't do that here. 1, 2, 1, 2. I definitely didn't do it here. 1, 2, 1, 2. So we suffered damage when he unleashed. We suffered damage when we did the thingy damage. So yeah, I think that's about as good as I can get. So let's start the next round. Do we want to consume a potion? Yeah, I think we'll consume... No, we won't. We won't consume a potion. So yeah, we're going to trigger this one. Oh, man, that's punishing. Okay, so we have to play yellow as the first card in our sequence because of that. And we exiled the first card in our deck, which means we're down to 13. The active player has 5 or less cards in their deck. The round marker is at 6 or higher. He becomes vulnerable. That's interesting, though. We'll remember that. We will empty our deck, which means we deal 5 damage for each green in our hand. So we've dealt 5 damage to take us to 17. And then we now have an actual turn. So we're going to move using our stamina over here to this thing. And then we'll divert, which is a yellow, so we don't suffer damage. We'll play a blue, which is Shadow Strike. And we'll chain this blue, which is Twin Blades. So that's going to deal 6 damage. So we're at 23. And then the best we can do is this No, we'll keep them in hand. We'll keep 2 in hand. 1 defense card should be enough. There's only 1, 2 left. So that, we reveal this attrition card. We can't do that, so that's fine. He's then going to flip to face us. Each player in the rear sector suffers damage unless they discard a green from hand. We can discard a green, and so we will. And that's just about it. So gain that. We suffered no damage, so we draw 1, 2, 3. We got some reds. Okay. You may immediately overrun the monster. Alright, so we have to move, or we are going to trigger this card here, which is not ideal. We'll just discard this suppressing fire. Is our health critical? No, but we will suffer a damage to draw a card into hand. So that happens at the start. So we actually do that. So we go 1, 2. Yep. All right. I think we're back in a little bit of dancing time now. So let's move discarding this recharging. That's a good plan. Then we're going to play strafing. You may spend a bullet to deal 3 damage. We will spend a bullet. Because we spend a bullet, we can draw this back into hand, and that deals 3 damage when we draw that back into hand. So 1, 2, 3, and then also 6, which is 32, which means we've got 6, and we've done a wound. That's our 7th wound. Sorry, we're down to wound 7, which means we're switching stances. When revealed, Sirkaaj gains struggle equal to the number of exiled cards, 3. Gains 3 struggle. This one stays in play because it's permanent. There's another permanent. Players with 5 or less cards in their deck suffer damage times 2 instead of 1 from an unleash. Awful. So we'll play this blue, suppressing fire, which is reduce the stamina cost of the next card you pay by 1. We'll play recharging, discarding another blue, reload 2. And then we'll play rapid ignition, which is going to deal 6 damage. And we can spend a bullet, which we will. And 6 damage takes us to 22. This has to be a 0. No, but it's good that it's the 2. All right, we suffer 1, 2, and that's it. We discard the top 2 cards of our deck. 1, 2, and we draw back up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, this will be a good turn, I think. So we didn't trigger that, we didn't trigger that. All right, round 3, Sirkaaj turns to face. We're behavior refreshing this out of there. This red is appearing, and we did play rapid ignition. We actually didn't spend the bullet because we couldn't. Because we couldn't pull a red from our discard pile, but that's okay because we're gonna spend the hail of bullets now. Potion time. Do we want to potion it up? 22. We need 32 to do a damage now. Do we want a potion? I think we will. I think we will consume our Imperia. allows us to draw 1, 2, and we're also going to suffer a damage 1 to draw 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 reds. Plus another one in there, 6. I think we've only got 7, so we won't use our red scale helm at this point in time. So moving. Do we have a blue? No. We'll move using this prompt reflexes. We're going to go over here to the rock, so we can defend against damage now. Players with 5 or less cards in their deck, that's definitely going to be us, maybe. We'll play a Haul of Bullets, discarding target acquisition. That's going to allow us to draw 3. 1, 2, 3. We're then going to play this ranged assist, which is a green. Actually, we don't need to do that yet. Yeah, we're going to play Barrage of Bullets, which is we're going to spend 3 bullets, so that's going to put a counter on this, and that's going to deal 4 damage for each bullet spent this way, plus the 6, so that's 18, which is 40, and we're 32, so that means we've got 8 damage on the board. Down to wound 6, but we're triggering this. Gains 2 struggles, so he's at 5, and we become threatened. Not my favourite thing. Then the ramp, he's gonna do it again, isn't he? We currently sustain the most damage. We have to discard a green from our hand. We will discard this green. So that's that. He's then going to unleash, because he's emptied his deck, which means we suffer damage, and players with 5 or less cards in our deck suffer damage times 2 from an unleash. So that would be here. However, we're going to use this prompt jump to avoid any damage from that. And she'll just take 1, 2, 1, 2. Let's look for a red now, because I don't think we've got a red. We can go for that twice. 1, no, 2, come on red. No, this card's a red, I guarantee it. Oh, I've miscalculated. That's fine. We're going to play Tactical Reload, which is a green, discarding these 2 from our hand, which draws this into hand, which means we suffer 2 damage, and we go here. We're going to add the top card of our discard pile to our deck when we ignited. I don't remember what it was. Damn, that's fine. Reload 3. We'll play this blue, which is a pressing shot, discarding this red. If your bullet track is 1 or higher, it is. We draw 2. 1, 2. And then we will play Gunfire, allowing us to pull this card back into hand. Spend a bullet to increase the damage this deals by 6. Plus 6 is 12. That's 20. We have to trigger this one. We suffer damage. Goodness me, we're down to 8. And then we will discard a green from our hand. We do not have 3 exile cards or more. Oh, it's tough. Oh, we've got to trigger that one too. In the good news though, we're not going to suffer any damage, and we are going to have a stamina token for next turn. And we've flipped Hail of Bullets. So these all go away at the end of the turn. We are not suffering attrition damage because there's no more 2s left. When we avoid attrition damage, deal 2 for each red in our discard pile. There was actually none when that happens because you don't discard the cards until after that. We draw up 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And yep, then he's going to turn to face us over here, which unfortunately means we trigger this. Each player in the rear sector suffers damage unless they discard a green from hand. We can do that, and we're going to do something tricky. We're going to discard this, and then when it changes its orientation, you can discard this to draw up to your hand limit. 1, 2, perfect. And then he rampages. We suffer damage unless we discard a green from our hand. I do not want to discard strategic support, but I will. All right. We'll move using our stamina token to get into the healing plant. Oh, I forgot about the healing plant. I'm giving myself that back. All right, so we're not threatened here. We are threatened here. We're not threatened here. Let's look for a red. Yep. Excellent. I don't think we'll do it again because I think we're going to trigger one now. So we're going to play Echoing Blades and discard this yellow, which is going to trigger this. He gains 2 struggle. We are gaining Threaten, which means we trigger this one. We discard the top 3 cards of our deck and exile the first red we see. Don't be a red. Come on. And that's it. He's got 1 more struggle. We've emptied our deck over here, haven't we? Haven't we? Yeah, we have to have. So we've got a counter on Dragon Wings. So that's going to deal 7 damage. 27 of 32. We'll chain this Crescent Strike into it, which is going to draw 2, 1, 2, and then discard 1 from hand. We'll discard Slice. Yep. That deals 7, which is 34, plus another 6, which is 40. So that means we've got 18 of 32. And we haven't triggered anything yet, but it's not over. Let's look for a red. That's just delightful, Deno. We'll discard. We're going to suffer more unleashed damage unless we play this blue. Let's play this blue. Remove that. Chain this red. So that red's going to deal 7 damage, which is 25, and then 35 because of the 4th card in our thing. So 35 means we've got 3 damage, and we've done another wound. I don't think I moved that wound down. Our sequence limit this turn, oh, that removed a struggle as well, is 6. So I think we'll play Double Strike, discarding Finesse. That counts as 2 for Battle Dance. So that deals 7, which is 10, and then it deals 14, which is 24. She's on an absolute rampage, and then we can chain that to draw 1. We know that this is either a 1 or a 0. It's a 1 or a 0. We suffer no damage. This attrition check happens. We exile the top card of our deck. Were we threatened again? We were. So we then have to exile the top card of our deck as well. That's bad. Because we became threatened with ice. Vanilla ice, ice baby. We might have had to do that over there as well, actually. Great turn for Karah. One of the challenges of going into these little things blind is that you definitely are not like thinking of all the rules. So I really should, what were those? Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I just need to shuffle my deck. Which is another token here, which is another 2 damage here. Yeah, you forget rules, where you're trying to remember all the rules, and you're missing things. So we do our best. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we're going to trigger this one because he's rotating. Each player in the rear sector. There is no one in the rear sector, so players in the flank sector are targeted again. We suffer damage, which is 1, 2, which is fine. And then this rampage happens. We suffer another 2 damage, 1, 2, and we are facing Karah. All right, it is Aylmore time for both because we had a 0 on top of this deck. Karah's going first. So the Aylmore is going to heal us for 8. So we go to 14 and 17. And we are here. So we're going to heal another 2 because we're starting in a healing plant. We emptied our deck and so we deal 5 more damage because we had a green in our hand. And let's move. Let's move using this green run through. We'll go here to the rock. Actually, if we move, we can't attack. Oh no, we can. We go to the rear. We're no longer threatened. We'll play a Shadow Strike, which is blue. We've gone to the next turn, by the way. And that's up to 3. So that's going to move that down to 2. And then we will play Dancing, which is another blue, discarding this to draw 2 cards. 1, 2. And then we'll look for a red. Yes, we'll look for a red. Amazing. So that will deal 6 damage, which is 35, which is another wound on 3. And that is going to trigger stage 3. It's going well. Sirkaaj gains struggle equal to the number of exiled cards. All right, well, it's 5. 4 here and 2 here, 6. So it's just straight away unleashing, but no one's got less than 5 cards in their deck. Oh, when Sirkaaj suffers a wound, the aggro player exiles the top card of their deck. And they suffer damage equal to the number of exiled cards. Oh my god, I have not been planning for that. We do get stealth, so we don't trigger this. All right. So we'll play this Echoing Blades. We're going to discard Natural Agility. That's a red. It deals 9 damage. So we're at 12. We then will play this crescent strike as a chain. So that's going to deal another 9. So we're at 21. And then we also get to draw 2. 1, 2. Discard 1. We'll discard that one. And because we played it there, that's another 10. So we're 31. And we need to do 40 to do a wound. We'll play double strike, which counts as 2 for battle dance purposes. So it does 9, which is 40, which is a wound. But then it also does 14. Because of our 7 for the battle dance, and then we'll play Wall of Blades. So we've got a 1. When we do a wound, when Sirkaaj suffers a wound, the aggro player, which is us, exiles the top card of their deck, and then suffer damage equal to the number of their exiled cards, which is 5. Is this a 1? It is. We suffer no damage. Delightful. He unleashed. So that's 1, 2, 3. I think I may not have given that 1, 2, 3. She's going to deal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. She only has 1 card left in hand, but we've got these 2 greens. All right. Karah, we're going to assist Karah. Turns to face. So yeah, we're going to assist Karah using Heleren, using Slice. Assist to draw a card. We will suffer damage, so we draw another card. And then we will look for... No, we're going to move using this. When you discard this from your hand, deal our base weapon damage, which is 6. So we're at 20. That's going to allow us to move over here, which means we're not going to trigger the threatened thing. And then we are just going to fire blind. I mean, it's not the worst plan. Yep, so we're going to go blinding fire, discarding that stamina token, and spending 2 to blind this card so he can't exile and we don't suffer damage. So that allows us to pull Quick Shot back into hand. So that's going to deal 6 damage plus 3 damage, which is 9. 29, but it's then going to trigger this card. We become threatened. That sucks. But I think we can get around that. Let's see if I'm right. We will play recharging, discarding Quick Shot, which we can use to reload 3. 1, 2, 3. And then we will strafe, which is going to remove both of those. I'm going to spend a bullet, and that's going to allow us to deal 6 damage. So we go to 35, and it lets us move again, which is awesome. We're back into the rear. We will keep these 2 cards in hand, gain a stamina. We trigger, we did trigger this one. That's fine, because we did become threatened. Discard the top 3 cards of our deck. 1, 2, 3. We exile the first red we find. Then players with 3 exiled cards suffer 4 damage. 1. We're at 6. Alright, that is okay though, because we are going to flip this and we're going to use the rock, so we suffer no damage. When you avoid attrition damage, deal 2 for each red in your discard pile. 1, 2, so that's 4, which takes us to 39. And then we also suffer 10 damage because we spent 2 more bullets, which means we're on 9. We're on our final wound. That doesn't do anything because we blinded it. It's the end of the round. We're moving to here. We got this guy. We got him on lockdown. discard this yellow, place this red in sequence, flip that to 3, turn to face Heleren. Do we want to use a potion? I don't think we do. We're going to start the turn here. Do we have 5 or less cards in our deck? We do not, because we're discarding that. We've got 2. 1, 2, 3, which means we're shuffling these. So we don't. The round marker is not 6 or higher. So we have to play yellow as a first card in our sequence. Oh no, however will we do so? Let's move using our stamina. No, actually, let's move using swift deflection to fly over here to the healing plant, so we're no longer threatened. We have to play yellow as our first card. We'll play prompt reflexes, which is yellow, discarding this stamina token. That allows us to draw 1. Let's just go for broke. We will barrage of bullets. We'll spend 2 bullets, 1, 2. Spend an arrow of bullets to increase the damage. This is, I also to draw 1 as well, by the way. This attack deals by 4 for each bullet, so that's 14. So we're on 23. And we will also be dealing 10 damage at the end of our turn, but we're going to trigger this one. He gains 2 struggle. We become threatened, which we're going to trigger this one. We suffer damage unless we discard a card from our hand. We will discard this one, and then because we became threatened, we trigger this. We discard the top 3 cards of our deck. 1, 2, 3. We didn't discard a red. Then players with 3 exile cards or more suffer damage plus 1. That's 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Down to 8. Alright, it's getting a little hairier than I was hoping, but I just need to do 7 damage. So, what do we got here? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we're fine. Cover fire, 7 damage or 6 damage. Target acquisition, discarding exertion. And then we can search our deck for a red and add it to our hand. Let's use gunfire. Discarding that, putting that there. 6, 6, 6, which is 18 damage, which takes us to 40. 41, actually. And that did not trigger a card. Heleren. Awesome. That was a different challenge with the exiling of cards, and I definitely would have missed 1 or 2 moments when I had to exile or discard. When you suffered damage, we have to discard the top 2 cards of our deck. Yeah, I probably missed that on a few occasions. But that was fun. That was fun. We'll chalk that one up as a win. That one was hard to keep track of all of the various things triggering. I'd like to play that one again, actually. This is the downside of playing things, as I said during the things, this is the downside of playing things without actually, you know, having any practice before them. You know, I'd much prefer to have a very clean playthrough for everyone, but yeah, the challenge of not getting it quite right with the joy of discovery. So it's a risk we take. Let's have a look here at this. So we have completed Glacial Bite 47. Ice Forge unlocked. Oh, we got a reward card and we've got a Tomb of Ice. Yandarax. Exile a card from your hand. Your weapon gets +3 damage for each of your exiled cards. Oh. There's 1 for each. That is crazy. So I'll say this. One of my issues with the... that's annoying me. That needs to be a little bit more centralized. One of my issues with the reward gear is it's generally not as interesting as you know, just like your basic gear. But the potions do tend to get a bit of a look in for me because the, you know, the potions, you can sub in and out, you can flex in and out. So getting a potion that's quite good is nice. Read chapter 6. 2 quests unlocked and 1 quest expired. All right, we've got 3 choices now. The River Dragon, the Dark Swamp, or this Tomb of Ice. So we've unlocked all of those things. So yeah, we probably should go for like Horn, Coral, or Metal, but we will not. Instead, we shall continue facing off against these monsters that we have not yet faced off against. I think that's everyone now. I think let's go through the list. Viraxen, yes. Digrax, yes. Phylaxia, yes. I haven't played Jekaros. Haidar, yes. Mamorak, no, but he's over here. Zekath, yes. Zitharos, yes. Karja, Corwin, Morkras, Huron, Reichel, yes. Parsis, Zekalith, I haven't played. Toramat, Oroxen, Ozu, Taruga, Sirkaaj, Nagarjas. Yeah, so Nagarjas, Zekalith, Mamorak, and Jekaros are the remaining 4 monsters that I would like to face in this playthrough. I've painted them all. I would like to use them all. So let's do that, and then I will feel like I've gained value out of this game. That is it. I will catch you all in the next episode, friends. Big Dano out.